6.
Right. Okay. Suddenly, from out of nowhere, there's a crackle of energy, and you barely manage to dodge as a missile of lightning flies past you, burning off a great deal of your hair. You lose 4 endurance points. You quickly roll and lash it out towards its point of origin, and you feel your blade hit something as you hear someone curse now from nearby. Roll it again.
7.
Okay. You continue your assault, lashing out against your unseen opponent. Your sword meets flesh, and you hear your Cadak scream in anger as he lashes out with his staff, knocking you over your head. You lose 2 endurance points.
6.
Right. You step forward again, grazing what you think might have been his side. But then the light flare explodes in your face, and as you are momentarily blinded, he clocks you in the head with all his strength. You lose 4 endurance points.
Okay, whoever says that spellcasters cannot fight in melee really had it wrong.
Yeah, 6.
Right. He fires off a powerful shockwave, and you fall flat on your ass. Your ribs buckling under the pressure. You lose 4 endurance points. You jump forward, slashing out with your sword and following up with a roundhouse kick to his face, sending the elder man flying backwards.
8.
Right. He tries to get up on his feet and launches several smaller blasts of energy towards you. You manage to dodge most of them, or parry with the summer sword, though a couple of you may find hits true, scorching your flesh. You lose 2 endurance points as you run up to the man who has barely managed to raise to his knees and kick him in the face with full force.
We really don't like our elderly here.
Nope. 8 again.
Right. You can see his outline from where he's coughing off blood from the broken ribs. You charge up against him again and lash out with your sword, carving a deep wound in his side. Right, as he tries to fire up more spells at you. You lose 2 endurance points.
9.
Right. He gets up and points his staff at you, but you knock it to the side and follow up by striking true with your blade as it sinks deep into his flesh. As you strike your killing blow, Cadak shudders and crashes to the ground, clutching his staff tightly to his chest. He finds just enough strength to utter a dying curse, then, before your disbelieving eyes, his body slowly disintegrates. The skin is quickly crisscrossed by thousands of wrinkles, and the drying flesh falls from his skull, leaving it bare boned with a tattered layer of leathery skin stretched over it. Then, in the next instant, his body collapses into naked bone. His staff breaks into chalky chunks, and finally, bone and staff blackens and falls away to dust.
Well, he will be easier to bury.
The umbrella of light quickly fades to leave you standing in a torrential rainstorm close to the base of the crystal dais. Through the downpour, you can see that the acolytes are slowly returning. They are anxious for the safety of their leader and hungry for the successful summoning of their banished lord. Despite the chill, you tighten your grip on the icy-cold death staff and climb the tiles to the top of the dais. You sense that the crystal dais commands the opening and closing of the shadow gate, and you know you must try to close the gate before Shamath appears. In frustration, you raise the death staff and bring it crashing down upon the floor of the upper tier. But it does little damage. It could take forever to destroy the dais this way. Then a wave of electrical energy crackles around the rim of the great arc, and your blood runs cold, for you know that in a dim and distant cavern upon the plane of darkness, the demoness Shamath has just stepped into a shadow gate. Her journey to Magnemont has begun. Galvanized into action by the fear of what will happen should the demoness be allowed entry to this world, you cast your eyes and kite senses across the symbols which are engraved upon the crystal surface of the uppermost tier. Then, in a sudden flash of inspiration, you realize that the symbols themselves are the key to the activation of the Shadow Gate. You study the symbols and determine that a sequence must be completed in order for you to be able to close the Shadow Gate. Study the following grid of numbers carefully. When you think you know the missing number, well, you just tell me so.
Huh. And I'm confused. Huh. Yeah, what the hell do we need there?
Good question.
Right, so your guess is 8.
And
Well-
yeah, I trust in Givinir's judgment again because this is confusing to me.
And so is it to me. Thank you very much. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah. Your first attempt at deciphering the secret of the crystal dais was not successful, and a new sequence of numbers materialized upon the surface of the upper tier. This time the sequence appears to be harder. Now you'll need to bring to bear all your Kai skills and intelligence if you are to break the code and close the Shadow Gate in time. Or will you be defeated by your old enemy, Archdruid Cadak, even after his death? Study the following grid of numbers carefully. When you think you know the missing number, blah 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 blah. We have a guess from our contestants here on Please Don't Let Our World Be Destroyed. So, contestant number 8, what's your guess?
110.
Can we get a drum roll, please? The instant you correctly complete the second sequence, a deep hum resonates from inside the upper tier and slowly open. Or was it tire? I'm forgetting now.
Yeah.
That went the
Yeah.
whole drama.
Yeah, it slowly opens to reveal a hexagonal crystal plinth with a circular hole at its center. Your Kai sense informed you that by inserting the tip of the death stab into the hole, you will cause the shadow gate beneath the great arc to close.
Okay, let's do that then.
Okay, so you have to insert the tip of your staff to close the shadow gate. Gotcha.
Insert the staff into the hole.
I
And
was
thus you
hoping
close
we
the
could-
shadow gate. Yes.
I was hoping we would walk away from this with our minds clean, but apparently not.
Where would the fun be in that? Trembling with fear and exhilaration, you raise the death staff above your head and bring it down with one mighty thrust, driving it deep into the hole.
Oh, for fuck's sake, this book. This goddamn book.
A shudder runs through the dais, and fingers of green electrical fire shoot from the tip of the death staff into the ground below. There's a moment of dreadful silence when even the storm and the rain abate, then the air shakes with a terrific implosion as the great shimmering arc collapses inwards and slowly disintegrates. Sparkling sheets of energy buckle and fuse as segments of the arc falls to the ground and crushing everything beneath rock and man. For an instant you catch a glimpse of a huge booted foot stepping through a silvery sheet of energy, and you tremble at the thought of what will happen next, for you recognize only too well to whom the foot belongs. But the very next instant the keystone of the arch falls away, and with a grating cry of tortured rock, the whole edifice comes crashing to the ground. Then, as if from nowhere, a raging whirlwind arises in mid-air, at the center of where the arch stood. This whirling vortex quickly builds in power until it is sucking everything in its spinning black core. Screaming acolytes tumble past and disappear into its maw as you desperately hang on to the dais to stop yourself from being sucked to your doom.
So we created a magical black hole.
Okay, so, what's your life?
Let us have a look at how our endurance is faring. 26.
Wow. Well, in that case, Robodine add 2 for being in such good health.
Okay. Seven.
Suddenly the raging wind ceases and you fall unconscious to the floor of the dais. When you awaken, you discover that you are entirely alone. The collapse of the Shadow Gate and the whirlwind which follows have consumed everything, save yourself and the crystal dais. No acolytes, no trace of the Grand Archway, no Death Staff, not even the storm remains. Virtually all traces of Cadak's evil plan has been wiped from the surface of your world. Congratulations, Grandmaster Lone Wolf. You have triumphed. You defeated the plan to resurrect Vashna and saved Magnamund from his rule of terror. But the fight against evil is not yet over. The collapsing Shadowgate destroyed everything. It consumed everything, that is, with one exception. That exception returns to haunt you in the next Grandmaster adventure. So yeah, that was the legacy of Vashna. What do you all think?
Cool.
It was... How the fuck do I put this? It was odd fighting against the possible arrival of this very, very dark evil force, and then finding out which herald they have chosen, and we got to hopefully finish off the Druid guy that I found a little annoying, but also at the same time incredibly awesome for a villain.
Yeah, it's a bit shame if he's done with now, because, well,
Yeah.
he was pretty much because he was pretty much the most involved villain yet.
I mean, yeah, that Gnog. I mean, we talked to him a couple of times, but we only encountered him in person twice.
Yeah,
And both times it was very briefly.
Yeah, one time he looked at you through a mirror and just yelled at you. Then he appeared in a hologram form and then yelled at you. Then he threw you into a hole after you met for like 10 seconds or something. And then the next time you meet, well, then you pull your sword and he's turned to smithereens. So yeah, he wasn't very involved. But Cadak was very involved for a villain. So yeah, we're ashamed to see him go, but this might be it for him.
Who knows? Who knows?
Indeed.
How many books are there left?
4.
Hmm.
If I remember correctly.
And we have until now accomplished quite a lot of things for one hero, I have to say.
Yep, there's 4 books left. We're nearing the end.
Yay.
You know what? At some point, when Lone Wolf is
We
to be very...
also had some very difficult riddles this time.
Yeah. It might just be that I'm not good to find the missing number puzzles. Like that.
Well, this was the first part. This one was the... Well, okay, you messed up on 2 puzzles this one time, but the rest of the time you've been solving riddles left and right, so... But yeah, what did you think of the book, by the way, Givenea?
I'm just... To be honest, I'm getting a little bored with this series. I don't think I would have made it through it if I had just been sat down to, play them myself. And the flowery language, which is used, seems out of place sometimes.
Yeah, but that just makes it funnier. The misuse of purple prose. I hope at least that you'll find it entertaining enough to be with us until through the last 4 books.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We started something, now let's finish it.
Yeah. So, this has been Emma Cobra.
And Rana Naraja.
And Warlord 1.
And give an ear.
And this has been Let's Play Lone Wolf Blind. See you all around.
See you around, folks.
See ya!
Bye bye.